What is your most authentic experience of yourself? What brings you into yourself the most? That's what we're going to be exploring today in this video. In this exploration, I have two different things to share that will help you be more aware of what creates this feeling of you, this really strong experience of you, and two things to support you in developing it. So two things to bring your awareness to the feeling and two things to develop the feeling once you experience it. Before we start this, just here's a question for you. When I ask you, what is the most you experience? What experience is your most authentic experience? Up until this point, what is it? And just whatever comes to you, just make a note of that. Now, this awareness that we're cultivating here, this has a lot to do with how much you enjoy spending time with yourself and how much you resonate with that experience of you. A lot of us have been pushed away from ourselves, not by choice, but just by our way of being in the world, that we've developed strategies, survival strategies, that being true to ourselves, being close to ourselves wasn't possible, that we needed to blend in with our environment and focus on others in order to be safe in our environment. So these muscles of connecting to ourselves are not very well developed. And this awareness building, these two things that I'm going to support you with in building awareness, this is really catering to those people, and I am one of those people that really was in that survival place. So I have really good understanding of what that feels like and how to move out of it. So the first one here, when you notice that your focus is moving, like you're thinking about anything and everything except how you're feeling. If you're able to notice that, and if you're not able to notice that, so there's like a level there. Like if you don't know what you don't know, but if you don't know that you're focusing outside of yourself, and then you are able to know that you're focusing outside of yourself, either one of those things, this is going to help you. All it requires is repetition. At some point during the day, take inventory of your body. At any random time during the day, especially if you're about to engage in an activity that you enjoy, take inventory. Pay attention to your feet. Pay attention to your hips. Pay attention to your neck. Pay attention to your hands. Pay attention to your face. Just notice what you're doing there. Now, regarding your feet, are you feeling your feet? Are you able to feel your feet? And if you're not, make sure you're able to feel your feet. Stamp your feet. Take your shoes off. Massage your feet. Make yourself aware of your feet. Your feet are a connection to the moment. Your feet are a connection to the planet. Feeling your feet is really essential for you to be safe to explore yourself. Your pelvis, being able to feel your hips. So moving, typically doing any type of side to side or circular movements with your hips help you to feel your hips more. The movement of the hips has a lot to do with your creative expression and your sexuality, your rhythm, the rhythm of how you go about your life. So just being able to connect to your hips helps you be more aware of your creative expression and how you are moving, the pace of your movement in the world. Your hands has a lot to do with what you're doing, right? We do a lot of things we create with our hands. So just paying attention to how our hands feel, what our hands are doing, really helps us connect to ourselves and our creative expression. And our face and our neck and our throat, the connection here has a lot to do with, are we holding back? Are we being seen? Are we saying what we need to say? Are we really able to be seen by ourselves? Are we able to look at ourselves? Do we have a hard time looking at ourselves? Literally looking at ourselves, and also reflectively, reflecting on what we've done, what we're doing. So this exercise may sound like it can take a while, and it could, depending on how much time you want to spend with it. But just a quick inventory, maybe 30 seconds, just checking in. The depth of connection and exploring each of these parts is person to person, and just how much time you want to spend there. But just the littlest time goes a long ways as you have the repetitions. So doing this just once a day for 30 seconds, and after 30 days, you'll notice a huge difference in your ability to connect with yourself, and just ability to know how you feel and what creates that feeling of you more. The second thing to help you with your awareness is to have a picture of yourself at any age, but especially at a young age. And if you're able to spend time with that, and when I ask it like that, it's kind of like, well, why wouldn't I be able to spend time with that? Well, sometimes connecting to the younger versions of ourselves is not the easiest thing to do, because we've had some trauma, we've had some challenging life experiences, and our protection in ourselves and our psyche pushes us away, keeps us away from those times. So to be able to look at the little version of Paul and say, oh, I love you, I see you, I love you. Being there, that's not the easiest thing to do for many of us. And so for us to go there, that also offers a very powerful connection. And if not the younger version, a recent photo, just to connect to ourselves and again, notice, take inventory. Our focus can easily go outside. It takes focused effort. It takes a lot of effort to be able to stay here and focus on us. And so a photograph of you as a child, or a recent photo, and just being with the photo and just connecting with yourself in the photo. Okay, so those are the two things to do to build awareness of what your most authentic you is, most authentic expression of you is. And so once you start to build that expression, the relationship to that expression, now to grow it, to develop it, the awareness of you in it. So for example, one of the things that I know is really me is when I'm working with someone, when I'm connecting with a client and supporting a client. Like, that's so, I feel so connected to myself and so like in my strength, in the truth of me being here. And one of the things that I do to further that experience, encourage that experience, is celebrate the experience. Not usually while I'm doing it, well, not usually while I'm working with someone, but after, to really just say, wow, Paul, you were really supporting that person. And just whatever your version of celebration is, it's more than acknowledgement. It's more than just saying, "Yeah, Paul, you did a great job." It's more like, yes, and just feel the love for yourself. Feel the growth. Feel the inspiration that the engagement of you in life, you in relationship with yourself and relationship with others, like that experience, and just celebrate that. That's huge. That's your gift. That's why you're here. And just celebrate that. Another thing that you can do to further this experience is another example of, I really feel when I am on my motorcycle, and especially when I am going fast and really focused on feeling the bike and feeling the road and everything around me, the timing of the connection of that. So for example, let's say I'm going 60 miles an hour into a turn, and I'm leaning the bike and I'm leaning into the turn, and I'm looking where I'm going, and I'm really in that moment. That experience is pretty intense, and I'm able to feel that experience in my body. I'm able to feel that experience as I'm in the experience. So it's almost like I'm looking at a picture of myself. I'm almost like I took a picture of myself in the experience. So in those examples that I just gave you about developing the experience, celebrating, taking that still shot of yourself, feeling the still shot of yourself, as you practice these things, give yourself permission, please give yourself permission to explore how those experiences, where you are in other aspects of your life in that way. Because the feeling of you becomes more familiar, and so you can see sort of the barometer of that experience in other aspects of your life, and you get a chance to focus on building that strength, that feeling in other aspects of your life, so you can be more authentic in other aspects of your life. Thank you for being here. So much love.